Welcome to the Midnight Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, alongside my fellow co-host, Tyler and Easton. We are both entrepreneurs who are learning, growing, and building our own businesses. Our goal is to share our experiences and knowledge to help you grow and become a successful entrepreneur. Strap in. Before we get started, if you have any questions or things you'd like us to cover, you can email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. And if you'd like to join our business Discord, we talk about wins, business problems, or general questions, shoot us a message and we will get you in there. Tyler, how's it going? Discord. Can't believe we still plug that.
Right. You just saying that, I'm like, maybe we should start adding in some wins there or getting the chat going. I think there's only a few of us in there, but I mean, we talk about stuff that's going on, and I mean, we could celebrate those wins in there.
I think
I don't see why we're not doing.
Is it two other people in there? One other person in there?
There's three. Jorge, Eddie, Matt.
Okay. Let's get that thing going. Get that cranked up, tuned up. If we get more people, right. I think the thing is, how many people really use Discord unless you're like a gamer, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. There was someone that reached out to me on Instagram once I started posting my content on Ironman training, and he said he was training for an Ironman. He was like, hey, do you want to create a group chat of other people that are training for an Ironman, and then we can share different ideas and podcasts and training or whatever it is in there? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't feel like doing that. And then I forget what app he said. I don't think he said Discord, maybe Telegram or WhatsApp, but maybe he did say Discord, but I'm not really sure who uses Discord, but I'm pretty sure it's like gamers for sure. I
feel like I would use it a ton more if those 5 people we have in Discord, we just created a group chat, like iMessage, but you have to have an iPhone to be in it.
Yeah. Everyone, Jorge does. Yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone has an iPhone. So
if you want to join our business group chat where we talk about wins, business problems, or general questions, shoot us a message.
I don't want people. Then we would have randoms having our phone numbers.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But then that's not an iPhone.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll stick with Discord. Maybe we'll start using it.
Come on, guys. Get on Discord so we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
What's going
on with you?
Yeah, I mean, few updates here. It's been a little bit since we've chatted. I was in Vegas last weekend. I got back on Monday. Have you seen any of the F1 stuff? I know this is off topic, but that F1 stuff is a mess, man. That kind of goes into business and how much of a tank things can be.
No, I am not familiar.
So the F1, the big F1 race is this weekend in Vegas, and their projected numbers of people that were going to be there in revenue is off horribly. All of the casinos and hotels are because no one's going. The ticket prices were so expensive that they pretty much priced out the average consumer. And so all the hotels are at like 50-60% occupancy. All the restaurants and places on the strip that, places that I go all the time. I'm seeing videos on X and there's just completely like empty. There's no one there. Restaurants are having to close early because no one's eating. There's one like really nice steakhouse that's on the strip and it like overlooks the strip where the race is at. And there were 2 people eating in there right next to the window. And
is this a Vegas thing or?
It's like F1 or just the whole event?
Is this a Vegas issue or an F1 issue?
I think it's an F1 issue because Vegas, people are in Vegas all the time, right? Like there's a ton of tourists, but F1 has pretty much created this little city inside of Vegas, and the way they're running it is like horrible. They were trying to charge, I know at the beginning of it, they were trying to charge like $50,000 to all the restaurants that had a view of the strip. They had to pay F1 so people could eat there. The ticket prices were astronomical. I think when the race first was announced, the cheapest ticket you could get for one day was $1,500. And now it's down to you could have got tickets on Thursday night just to see the race.
Yeah, but it's not like a football game where you're in a stadium.
They've created barricades everywhere. You can't see the road unless you have designated tickets. So all of like the pedestrian bridges that you walk on, they've put a film over them so you can't see through the bridges. And then they shine lights at the film so you can't like see through the film. And then they've also put like a chain link fence next to the film because people were peeling it off. So they have went above and beyond the places where you're going like down the stairs where you can maybe get a little peek. They put up big curtains around the whole thing so you can't see. They put up black tarp on the outside of the actual racetrack through the fence so you can't see. It's crazy, man. People are like, fuck this.
When is it?
It's the final race is actually tonight. So Thursday night was.
Oh, so it was like a series?
Yeah, Thursday night was practice. Last night was qualifying, and then tonight's like the actual race. And the funny thing is, for 9 months they've been repaving all of the roads in Vegas, so it's been an absolute shit show for traffic. And then Thursday night, 8 minutes into the first practice round, they forgot to weld down a manhole cover, so a car drove over it and it blew up the bottom of the car, and they had to cancel the whole day.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a gong show. You should go after this episode. Sorry, guys, we're getting a little off topic, but it's fascinating. If you guys are listening, if you haven't seen it, go on
Vegas.
Yeah, go on X and just search in like Formula One Las Vegas and see all the memes. Like all the locals are just pissed off. Everyone there, all the racers are pissed. The racers are like, this track sucks. No one knew that it was going to be cold in Vegas, so F1 thought it's in the desert, so it's just going to always be hot. Well, it's in the middle of November. At night, the race is at midnight our time, or my time, 1 a.m. your time. And it's like 40, 50 degrees there. So the tires are fucked up on the cars. It's crazy.
That cold, eh?
Yeah.
I wonder if Hormozy's going to go, or maybe he can watch from his apartment way up there.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, he lives there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's super interesting. I mean, when I was there this last weekend, it was like 70 during the day. And then at night, it was like 45, 50 degrees.
Not bad. Not bad.
So, but other than that, getting into some business updates. Did just get back from Vegas. I know last week or last time we filmed, we talked about the Brokers 12 person that reached out. Had a little bit of not a scuffle, but a nice conversation about it. Debate. Yep, that's the word I was looking for. I got an update. She pretty much said like, hey, can you give us a rough cost for this starting in January 2024? So I think now is when I'll have to have a conversation with the person. I'm not even going to say like someone else reached out. I'm just going to say, hey, what is your plan for 2024? And if he's like, oh, I want to keep doing content, then I'll probably tell the other person, okay, well, I already have someone in the real estate industry. But have that conversation. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but they were asking for some quotes and stuff. The thing is like, and this is the reason I didn't want to tell them right away, is that not that they didn't have a budget, they have a budget, but it's just not where it's really anything that'll make me perk my nose up or anything. So I originally sent them like, hey, here's the rough range of what it costs. And they were already asking if it could go lower. So that's where I'm like, I don't really know if it's worth my time. So if that's something
just
where
in it to make money.
No, not in it to make money, but it just gives me another reason not to move forward with it. But I could give them some recommendations, however that goes. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. I'll keep updating on that as that goes. The next update I had one client. We were editing a project. We shot it this summer, and it's just been a nightmare to put together. It's actually in the oil industry. So the main issue I'm running into is the jargon. I don't know anything of what people are doing. Whatever I filmed, I don't know what I'm looking at. All the scripts and everything, I don't know what the script's tied to. And it's kind of been a little bit messy since the start. So I basically sent an email. I'm like, hey, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if I can complete this project. Like I'm willing to, you guys obviously paid the first. So I finished like half of them and the second half was a mess. So I was like, I'll just pay back like the first invoice you guys paid, or if we get an extension and we reshoot it. And I haven't heard back on that yet, but this is the first time where I'm like, I don't really know. It's okay. I don't really know what to do because I physically can't finish the project. So that's kind of where I'm sitting. I'm like, I don't even know what to do, man.
Well, that's shitty. You should educate yourself. Maybe ask ChatGPT. That's your answer to me for me all the time.
I did. I use ChatGPT for everything. Yeah. That's how I type my email.
With some jargon.
That's how I type my email. Well, it's not the problem. ChatGPT can't fix that because I don't know what I'm looking at. Like the footage, it's like, okay, connect the linkage to this, and then you have to check for this, that, the other thing, because they're SOPs, like standard operating procedure videos. So I'm filming stuff, and the voiceover's explaining what, but I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. And we're missing half the footage. Like the script says,
so you
show
filmed
this,
everything, right?
Yeah. But I 100% take responsibility for it. And I said this in the email. I pretty much said the pre-production process is like my fault. We should have went more into the pre-production process. Whereas we showed up and the person, my contact point was basically like, oh, just film them doing whatever. And I should never just say okay and start doing that. That's what I used to do when I was earlier on in my business. I would just say, okay, sounds good, and figure it out after the fact. Now I realized why that is an issue. So it's my fault for not at the beginning. We should have had the scripts all done at the beginning and then went by a step-by-step shot list of, okay, this is what we're talking about the voiceover. We need to show this. So we're going to stop everybody, show me that part of the process, and then we'll move on to the next part. Where instead it was basically them working like it was just a normal day. And I was filming it, trying to run all over the place and capture it. And it was a mess, but I definitely take responsibility for it. I should have been more hands-on pre-production, but it's one of those things that was rushed where they're like, oh, we need to shoot like this coming Thursday is the first shoot day. And I just can't let that happen anymore. So
should have just guessed, and you can't Google it, and it's not being able to say like whatever term it is, Google it and then see if it shows up. Or
yeah, I can, but it's all the oil and gas companies kind of have their own jargon. So like they call things a little bit different. And like part of the script, half of it we didn't shoot. Like, cause I just shot some of the process and the guy on site was like, oh, we don't need to show this. And then when we had another meeting to put together all the scripts and walk through the scripts, they're adding more and more. They're like, oh, it'd be good to see this. Cause it's basically showing students they're in the class learning this stuff, showing them these videos and they're like, oh, it'd be good to add this. Oh, and add this and add this. I'm like, well, we didn't film half of that. So it's like, there's gaps in there. And then they sent me their footage. They're like, okay, well here, use our footage. So then they sent me their footage. Their footage is not very good. There's captions burned into the bottom of it. So it's like, there's captions. I can't take the captions off.
Scale it.
Well, the problem is it's like in the middle. It's like you could scale it, but then you're like on the guy's head and that's all. So yeah, I've worked on it literally this last few days when I got back. That Tuesday, Wednesday, I worked on it for probably 10, 12 hours. And I got half of them done, which the first half, it's passable. But the last thing I told them is I don't feel proud to send this work out there. I could definitely send it to you guys and collect your money, but I wouldn't be proud of the product I'm giving you guys. And I don't want to make you pay for that. I said, because they have a grant for it, which is December 1st, I think is when it has to be finished. So that's the shitty thing is they have a grant. I'm like, well, we can put together some makeshift videos. If you have to show something for the grant, be like, okay, here's the videos we put together, and then I'll shoot it and not charge you guys extra, like reshoot everything and do it the right way. So I gave them a few different options. Like, hey, I can refund the money. I can give you this product and do a partial reshoot. We can do a full reshoot. So I gave him some options. The problem is I'm working through a middleman. It's like through an advertising company. So I have to tell him and then he has to tell the client. So it's this big chain of command.
It's always annoying.
Yeah, super annoying. So that's where I'm at with that. If I was super stressed and like annoyed this last week, just working on that project because I didn't know how to go about it. And once I sent that email, I felt much better about it because I feel like the weight's off my shoulders. They know what the situation is. And now we'll just have to go from there.
I know we were talking yesterday, and I guess this kind of goes into one of my updates with my new client, but I was saying, we'll see if it's going to be worth the headache. Was that worth the headache?
I don't know. Well, it's a $12,000 headache. So
yeah,
I mean, at the time,
it all depends on how big of a headache.
Yeah. Right now I'm thinking no, like, because I don't have any of the footage. Yeah. It's just a gong show. If I had done it right at the beginning, it would have been easy. Like these would have been the easiest videos ever, you know?
Right.
All the work's done in pre-production.
It's the same thing with me though. It's like, if everything's done right, and same thing with me, this is going to be like a completely new process. I was watching some YouTube videos to learn about how I can do this without actually taking his website down until I got it complete. And then once I have it complete, I can just throw it up there and bada bing, bada boom, we're all set. So it's just going to be how much of a headache, the learning process, learning curve. Am I going to be able to do that? Am I not going to be able to do that? And am I going to tear a site down again and have another one of those issues? That's what I was going to do. I was going to be like, hey, I just wanted to update you and see if it's fine. I'm going to make myself an admin on WordPress just in case I fuck up, and just so I have a backup plan there. So
do you have to build it off? I mean, we can pivot into your update here. Tyler got a new website client. Are you doing it based off of his current website, or are you just building it and then at the end switching everything over?
It's based off of his current website. He just doesn't like the functionality of it. It's a bit old school. I'm not going to be changing it that much. It's just he's just had a lot of issues with web developers, and he doesn't know how to go in and edit stuff on his website himself personally. There's a few functionalities that doesn't work. He's like just wants to switch it out, go a different approach. So it's gonna be looking pretty much fairly the same, but I'm just going to be making it myself on the way I make websites. And then at the end, I'm going to show him how he can go in, edit it, and then add new pages, because that's another thing that he wants to be able to do, is just be able to easily edit and be able to easily add new pages if he ever wants to do that. So it's just going to be basically duplicating his current website to a new website that I create that makes it a little bit more user-friendly.
Are you planning on doing any updates to like the graphic design look of everything, or no?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's going to be, he doesn't like flashy stuff. He's very old school and just likes kind of basic stuff. So that's one thing that he really told me. You know, like header images, I guess you could call them, where they can slide through, where it's like 1, 2, and then it like changes. He's like, I hate that. I'm like, okay, no problem. So he's like really basic, like old school 1990, 2000 type of website that doesn't have much functionality, much flair to it. So it's just make it basic and make it just do its job. He wants to make it as simple as possible.
Is it Mikey? Is that or James?
Yeah. Mike. Big Mike.
Michael. Why did I call him Mikey? Like I know him. The only thing, I mean, you sent me the website and I looked at it, and we're not going to share it, obviously. But the only thing I noticed that it feels very word heavy. So I don't know if you could condense that, and then, I mean, even some of the
add more graphics, add more pictures.
Yeah, I mean, not that you have to go crazy graphics like you like, so you can still keep it old school. But like the first thing I noticed, I'm like, there's so much to read, and I don't want to read anything. Like when I go to a website, I don't want to read very much.
Yeah. So that's I'm pretty much just going to be cloning his current website and making it into like my own. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with that website.
You should upsell him to do some videos on almost like where they have this about us and they have the 6 people in these long paragraphs. Upsell them to do 6 like 1 to 2 minute videos of each person talking about themselves.
I'm not doing that.
Why not?
I'm just giving him what he wants.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what he wants. Tell him.
I think he does.
You don't have to upsell him. You don't have to sell him. Just say, hey, here's the website at the end. Be like, also, it would be really cool if you had instead of these 6 videos talking about whatever with the, or not videos, 6 photos with all the text under it. Be like,
how are they going to film it?
You're going to film it. So
I'm going to fly out to, what is it, 6 people in there, or is it 8? And then I'm going to fly out to 6 different locations, film them all.
Oh, are they remote?
I mean, he's in New Mexico. The business is in Tampa or something. I don't know where they're all at. So yeah, I'm not trying to upsell. I'm just trying to give them what they want, what he's looking for, what old Mikey's looking for.
I know you always give them that, but we've had this conversation, Tyler. You want to give them
It's not about money. It's about value. You got to give them the value that they want. And if you go above and beyond, that's just going to like, look at what happened. The reason I got this was because I went above and beyond with someone that I didn't try to upsell. And that's how I got this client.
Yeah, but
it's not always about making money. I'm
not saying that, but do you think the videos wouldn't add value?
He doesn't like flair. He doesn't like flash. He likes basic.
He's got a video on his homepage.
He doesn't like that. He's like, we can scratch that.
I'm just saying, you want to be the expert in it. You don't want to just be a guy that just takes orders, man, do you?
I'm the guy in the chair. You watch Spider-Man?
No.
Okay. I'm the guy in the chair.
Yeah. I want to do more, man. People don't know what they want. You know how much it's like, hey, we could do that. That's awesome. But what if we did this? And they're like, oh my God, that's way better.
Does this guy sound like the type of guy that wants to make?
I'm not saying it's just this guy, but you know, any other opportunity you have.
Yeah, sure thing.
Make more money and make your client happier. That's a win-win.
Is it though?
I just did it with one of my clients. I said, hey, we're doing these videos, but what if you had a landing page with people to actually do something with these videos? And they're like, oh, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, we can do that. They're like, let's do that. That's awesome. They're happy and excited about it. I get a little bit more money. I don't see the losing proposition here. Anything else you got, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm trying out new YouTube style. I filmed it the other day. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. That's another question that I had for you that I wanted to ask about what your thoughts were, how I should approach it, because I tried out a YouTube style Sam Sulek where he's just blowing up. He's a big gym guy and everyone's just watching him. It's literally just him having a conversation with the camera, and his videos are 30 to 60 minutes plus. And it's him driving to the gym, him working out, and then usually him driving home or grocery haul or cooking, eating, whatever it is. And he's just talking to the camera the whole time like he's talking to someone. So I tried that out with biking the other day, and I'm not really sure how I want to approach it, just because a lot of the times I'm not really talking and it's just me breathing, and I don't know how to approach that part. And because with his, it's extremely minimal editing. It's like no B-roll, there might be some B-roll when it's like exercises, but for the most part, it's no flashy graphics, no B-roll. It's just him talking, having a conversation with the camera. And that's one thing that I'm not really sure how to approach it, because I don't want to get too carried away with it and have like background music the whole time and then like have it fade in, have it fade out. And so that we'll talk after on what you think about that. But yeah, I'm trying out a new style just to, it was a 60-minute bike workout. I have the video down. It's about 60 minutes. And it's like, do I want to post this whole 60 minutes? Do I want to cut out the middle parts where I'm just not talking and I'm just breathing? And do I want to speed that up? Do I want to have music? So it's just trying to figure out what I want to do there.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to do it that way. I know it seems easy. It's like, oh, look how many people's getting just from posting. But getting a text message, just from posting. But I feel like I don't know if you guys have seen this guy, but his physique is very interesting. Yeah. So like, I feel like that helps him. People are curious just based off of that. And then he also, I don't know what his social, like, not funnel looks like, but I don't know where these people are finding him, if it's mainly YouTube or if he's posting short form on TikTok and stuff like that. But I feel like
he doesn't really post much. It's weird. It's the same effect that Andrew Tate had. So this is a lot of personal branding that our episodes on here, where he didn't really post much content. What ended up happening, people would watch his stuff and they make fan accounts. And now if you go on TikTok, you search his name, there's going to be hundreds of fan accounts posting his shit for him. And that's all it is. And then it's just reaching all these people. And then the people go to YouTube and then they watch the full length content. And it's the same thing with Andrew Tate, where Andrew Tate he never posted. I think the only platform he posts on is Twitter, X, sorry. And everyone would create these Tate accounts, Tate fan accounts, and that's all personal branding. And then everyone wants to listen to Tate, and then people would just create these fan accounts, and that's literally all it is. So I ended up looking it up yesterday because I found this video on him blowing up, and I looked at his videos on TikTok. I'm pretty sure it's his actual account. He's only posted like twice in the last 3 months. So he doesn't really post. It's just on YouTube where he posts, I think YouTube he posts every single day, 30 to 60 plus minutes. Yeah. So
it's interesting. I think it's a lot harder to do than he makes it look. It's hard to, I'm sure you could do it if you just might have to do those types of videos for a freaking year until people they're like, oh my God, there's one video every day for 60 minutes that I can watch on this guy doing Ironman training. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to see. I don't have a ton of expertise on how that would work, so I can't say too much, but I would imagine it would be a little difficult.
Definitely. Easier said than done.
Yeah, exactly. Another update for me here. I'm thinking about not shooting in December, but limiting the number of shoots in December just to get ready to go for 2024. Plus, I need to figure out Christmas gifts and get the conversations flowing for clients for 2024, see what retainers I can get people on, see what their plans are for 2024. So I think I need to focus on that before January.
And upselling them.
Yeah, 100%. That's why people start businesses, man, to make money.
And upsell.
Well, yeah, upsell. That's how you make money. I don't know what your gripe is with upselling, Tyler. I think I just don't think you like the term. Because then it feels like you're fucking people out of more money. Is that how you feel?
I don't know. It's just doing something, and it's just like you're trying to force something that they might not want on them. I don't know.
But it's not. You have to. You
they
can't
might
look
not
at,
need.
You can't look at it like that. That you're forcing it on them. You're just presenting it, saying, "Hey, this is an option," and then they make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when I give people 3 ideas, 3 concepts in a strategy, a pitch deck, I say, "Hey, here's what you asked for. Here's 2 other options. If you want to go with those, awesome. If you just want to go with your original one, that's totally fine with me too."
Mm-hmm.
That counts as an upsell.
Yeah.
And it works more than you'd think it would. And the client doesn't feel like you strong-armed them into giving you more money.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn, my boy. You'll learn. All right. That, and then redoing my office setup. I feel like I don't have very much usable space. That's not a crazy important update. But after this, I'm going to go get a rug and see if I can get a big table. I want another workspace. So I just have like this big wide open area. You know where it's at, where that backdrop's at, right behind my door.
Yeah.
And that area is just wide open. So maybe I just get a big area rug and a big like conference table looking thing. And then if I ever need to sit over there, I can.
So much room for activities.
I know, right? And I'm not using any of it.
Yeah. My last update on my end is just talking with a buddy that I met from Tampa and potentially partnering with him. He was going to be running Facebook ads for this company. And I also mentioned Google ads. So I might be I set it up for them. It's not complete yet because conversion tracking is not done, but potentially working with him and partnering there with him and his business.
There you go.
And the businesses he tries to do.
Yeah. What would that partnership be like?
Basically, in a sense, consulting, but at the same time, running Google ads.
Okay.
For his client.
Consulting for his client,
it's
or
like
consulting
a white label
for him?
Him.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
You'll have to keep us updated on that one. That's all of our updates on what's going on in our businesses, guys. Talk about this week's news story. Black Friday coming up this week. I suppose when this is out, it'll be about 4 or 5 days away. Whatever you want to count. Early Black Friday deals. Are you a Black Friday fan, Tyler?
No.
Not a fan at all.
I don't. If I need something, I buy it.
Yeah.
I don't wait for these deals. Like sometimes, like maybe I need something, say like a bike bag to travel with. I might wait because I don't need it right now. It's like maybe I'll wait to Black Friday, see if it does go more on sale because it's already on sale right now. So maybe if it's something that I might need in the future, I might wait. And it's like I don't need it right now. But typically, whenever I need something, I'm gonna buy it. That's my logic.
The only time I buy things on Black Friday is if I think, okay, I need this thing, and then I'm relatively close to Black Friday. So for an example, actually, this couple years ago, I was buying my house, and I knew that eventually I was going to move out and needed to have stuff. And I was like, well, eventually I'm going to need a TV, and I'm going to need a new bed. And this was, early November, end of October. And I'm like, well, Black Friday, they got to have some good stuff. So then on Black Friday, I went and bought a TV. I went and bought a new bed just because it was discounted. So I share the same sentiment with you, where if I want something, I'll just buy it. But if it's something maybe bigger and I'm already close to Black Friday and I don't need it right away, like the TV I didn't need, but I'm like, if you can get a 75-inch TV, that's $400 off, whatever it is, you might as well. So that's the only time I really ever go to Black Friday is if...
Might as well, right?
Yeah. Might as well wait a couple extra weeks. It's not going to kill you to buy it right now. So if I'm close to Black Friday and I want something, I'm like, I'll just wait till Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
Do you plan on buying anything?
No, not right now. I mean, It's not really anything that I've just been like, man, I really need something. There's always sometimes like camera gear stuff. Like I know on Cyber Monday, some of the camera websites have deals on stuff, and I always have a list of like, it would be nice to have this. Like one thing that's been on there forever is Apple boxes, and I've just never bought Apple boxes because I don't really need them that much. But if Apple boxes were on sale next Monday, I might pull the trigger on them. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing that I'm just like, yes, I can't wait till Friday.
Yeah. So basically, the reason I chose this one is more so about the economy that we're living in and the marketing that comes behind Black Friday. So the fact that they're extending Black Friday into a longer time frame shows that there's not a lot of demand in the market, in the economy, and people might not have the expendable income. And I believe we've or at least America is at all-time highs with credit card debt, which is absolutely insane, like trillions of dollars. And it just shows that the economy is not doing as good as it says it is, and that it's completely inflated. And then the other thing with Black Friday is a lot of this is just marketing. So they could have a product that is $100 and they could leave the price at $100 and say, we knocked this down from $300.
Yeah.
And that, when you look at that, it's like, oh my God, this is 66% off. And it's like, I gotta buy it. And it's like, turns out it's been that price the whole time. They just added that thing in there. And literally a lot of what Black Friday, all these deals are, is just a marketing tactic. So I just wanted to bring that to light and just to also talk about the demand in the economy with potentially an inflated market.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're going to buy something, check the price before Black Friday. If something's $1,000, like a TV, if you're going to buy this TV and you're like, man, it's $1,000. And then you see on Black Friday, it's $500. Okay. Now you're getting a deal. But if it's $1,000 and then you check Black Friday and it's like, oh, we cut this down from $1,500. Okay. Right. They're tricking you a little bit. So don't be fooled by that. And also don't buy stuff that you don't need, that you think you need. Right. So I always hear this thing when people go Black Friday shopping, they're like, oh, I saved, it's $100 thing. I got it for $60. I saved $40. I'm like, no, you didn't save 40. You spent 60.
You going to use it?
Yeah. You spent $60. So they try to trick themselves into thinking I saved money when it's really something you didn't plan on getting or need.
Actually need.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the thing you got to be aware of.
I'm pretty sure Prime Day just happened, or maybe it's coming up. I don't know. I feel like I've seen some emails about that.
It was about a month or so ago, I think. Month and a half.
Yeah. And one thing that I've seen that you can do is look up prices that they previously were. And when you look at the prices that, say, the products on, you just mentioned this, but like what I've seen before or heard about Amazon Prime, someone would look up different prices from this product and it's like, oh, this is 25% off. But you look at the previous prices, it was actually cheaper than this before, or it was the same price.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty crazy to hear that. And then the last thing I just want to touch on is scarcity. So when you extend these massive sales, so like Black Friday is supposed to be one day where it's like massive deals, come and get these massive deals. But when it's not just one day and it's, say, a month of Black Friday deals, it's not as scarce anymore.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to flood there and be like, I need this deal. I need to get that. I need to get this. And all of a sudden, it doesn't drive the demand up because it's like, okay, it's always going to be there, or there's going to be another one. Or
well, that used to be the thing. If you're going to go get a TV for $500, 80-inch TV, there's 3 of them.
Right.
Like you got to go to Target, you got to camp out the night before,
demand.
And you got to fucking sprint to the back and get your paws on it. But now you can just, like when I got mine
over some people.
Yeah. When I got mine a couple of years ago, I just bought it online, paid for it online, and then it's like pick it up whenever on Black Friday. So I went to Best Buy and picked it up. So like, yeah, the scarcity is a little bit different. But yeah, anything these people can get your money for, they're upselling you.
Exactly. Buying stuff that you don't need, just want.
Exactly. All right, Tyler, anything else on Black Friday, or we can get into this week's topic? Tyler mentioned a little bit earlier, personal branding. One thing we wanted to do this week on the episode, we could go over an episode on what personal branding is, how you should do it, what your strategy should be, why you should be doing it. But we wanted to take a little bit of a different route. We're going to talk about what it is, kind of our thoughts on personal branding, just to intro the show or this segment. And then we want to talk about the things that we've done good in personal branding, me and Tyler, or Tyler and I guess, sorry.
The few things.
And then, the things we've done bad, and kind of just go over our personal experiences, and then hopefully you guys can learn from us. And at the end, we'll do some topics on what we want to do moving forward, or what we think we should do moving forward. So Tyler, I'll maybe throw it over to you. What is personal branding when someone says that to you?
Just pretty much your reputation and what someone associates you with. So it doesn't just have to be online or just on social media. It can be offline. And I think for me, whenever someone associates me with my personal brand, I hope they associate Ironman, driven. I don't really know what else, but I think it's just whatever they associate yourself with. I don't know. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think your personal brand is really just boils down to more than, I think when people think personal brand, they think, what is your presence online? But really, it's not that. It's your reputation just in life. So it doesn't have to be, what you're all about, like what your business is about or what your personal goals are about. Like if it's Tyler with Ironman, it's what people think about you or what comes to their mind when they say your name. So if two people are at a grocery store and they say, oh yeah, Tyler Sinden, what do they think? Do they think, oh, he's that guy that plays video games all the time and he's going to school for the last 9 years? Or do they think, oh, he's the guy that's doing that Ironman stuff, right? So it's really just your reputation in the world in general.
Yeah, and it all comes down to your actions. Like you could say you're doing all this. Your personal brand could be the person that just says they're going to do stuff, but they never actually do. So I think it comes down to those actions. So whatever actions you take is what your personal brand will basically be.
And why people correlate personal brand to online, I think online is just the easiest way to get your personal brand out there. So if I'm posting photos of whatever I'm doing that day, so Instagram stories, for example, if I take a picture of my camera, and last night I filmed the Toros hockey game, if I take a picture of the camera with the rink in the background, it's like, oh, filming the game tonight, whatever. Whoever sees that automatically thinks, oh, he's filming video. And then the next day they see, oh, I'm filming cows. Oh, he's doing more video. So then it starts to stick in their mind where when it's outside of the online realm, they think, oh, he's that video guy. It's much harder to just run around, and when people see you, they think, oh, there's Easton doing video. So if someone saw me at the hockey game, that helps. But it's just easier to talk to the masses when it is online. So I think that's where that correlation comes in.
Is that why you're doing those stories?
Morning gang. Yeah. I want people to know that I'm freaking doing stuff.
You're a morning person?
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I forget sometimes, dude. It's so hard. I got to put a notification in my phone like every morning at whatever, 8 or 9 a.m. But like sometimes it's like.
It'll be like a Be Real, but at the same time every single day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like 11:45. No. That lasted a while. Stupid app. But yeah, sometimes it'll be like 11:45 and I'm like, oh shit. Late morning, gang. But I mean, people are starting, now that I've done it for, I don't know, it's probably been a couple weeks. People are starting to answer it more and more. And I get one person, like I know him, his name's Jordan. He always answers back. He's like, morning. So it's just like a little conversation we have. There's one person in Georgia that answers all the time. It's going good.
I was thinking about doing that this morning. Be like, as Easton Bennett would say, morning gang.
Morning gang. Yep. It's nice because I actually stole this idea from I think his name's Gene on Instagram. This guy I follow, he does video too, and he says morning crew. So every morning he'll take a picture of his computer or something. He'll say morning crew. And then after that, the next story after that will have something interactive. So a quiz or a poll or a slider. So I'm trying to do more of that. So then every day people are like, oh, he's there doing his shit again. But it is hard to remember sometimes. And I couldn't use morning crew because then it'd be copying them. So I was like, whatever, morning gang. I'll just slightly copy them.
So speaking of what you're doing right now, what have you been doing good with your personal brand recently, in the past, in the future? What have you been doing good? I don't know what you're doing right now, but
my camera stopped recording because the memory card was full. I thought it auto switched, but apparently not. So if you guys got a little black face there for a little bit, happens.
My camera does that too. If it like says it's not recording or whatever it is, it like has the notification, but it switches to the other one and that thing stays there. So sometimes it scares me. And I'm like, oh shit, is it still going?
That one definitely didn't record, but but I don't even know if I'm in focus right now. Whatever. It's a mess of a day, guys. Listen to
get a
this
Sony.
episode. Listen to this episode.
Oh, man.
You not recording either?
No, I was seeing if I was on autofocus.
Yeah, just an audio episode. But yeah, usually it switches cards. I got 2 cards in there, and the second card has 209 minutes available to film. And it just ended and didn't switch. Sorry, what were you saying though?
What are you doing good?
What am I doing good? Right now, not a whole lot, but in the general scheme of things, I think.
I like the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been good, but whatever. We'll talk about that in the next segment. So what have I been doing good? I think in the general scheme of the last 5 years of starting a business and having a personal brand and a business page and all that, I think I'm doing generally okay. I mean, I'd say I'm doing better than the competitors in my area, as they don't post like anything ever. So it's not hard to beat that. But I think over the last 5 years, I've built enough of a brand that people realize that's the video guy, does video projects, and I'm keeping that going. But I think on the day-to-day basis is where the consistency issues are. We'll talk about that in the next section where we talk about things we've done bad. But really, I want people to know, that's the guy that's doing video work, video production company. And I think more and more people know that, because when I'm out in public, I hear people all the time. They're like, "Oh, how's the video stuff going?" Or "How's the podcast? I listen to your podcast all the time." Or "What projects are you working?" I just had my buddy, not my buddy. Well, I mean, he is my buddy, but my old baseball coach texted me 2 days ago, and he's like, "Hey, how's business going? What projects are you working on lately?" So I think people are still caring. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But when you look at it on the micro, the day to day, that's when it gets a little bit hairy.
I know. So, yeah, you can compare yourself to other people, and you should just focus on yourself and improving yourself. Like, do you have many competitors there in Minot, would you say?
Not a ton. 2, 3, 4, maybe.
So you're doing good out of the few.
Yeah. I mean, it is a smaller city, so I don't expect there to be 15 video production companies. There's obviously some more when you drive an hour and a half to Bismarck or 4 hours to Fargo. There's still a handful of them in North Dakota, but in my general area, there's not a ton, which is okay.
Gotcha.
I enjoy that.
Well, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
And I know for you saying, bringing up how the projects are going, or people will say that, I actually got my haircut from my usual hairdresser when I went to Minot, and she actually heard of you because of the podcast. So
nice.
That podcast creates that personal brand from you, and people know who you are because of that, because you're branding yourself doing that. So I think it's just putting it out there a little bit more to the world and just documenting it a little bit more. And I think that would help you be a little bit better at what you're doing.
Yeah. The business podcast has for sure helped a ton. I mean, people talk about it all the time. Oh, I listen to every episode. And it's good to meet new people through the podcast. Yeah, that's honestly what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh God, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's good. And then if you could, compound on top of that and create more content, which I've not been doing, it'll be good. But we're going to get back into the masterminds, and then that's going to hold me accountable. So that's what I'm excited for.
Hopefully.
But Tyler, what have you been doing good personal brand wise? I'd say you're a little bit more consistent than I am.
Yeah, and at the same time, I still feel like I'm really early and just getting started with everything, because with YouTube, I've only been doing that. You just say consistent, but I wasn't, because I did it for a year and then maybe a little bit over a year every week, and then I quit. And then it took me about a year, however long, 2 years, to get back into it to where I'm currently at. So over a long time span, that's not very consistent. Say over 10 years, this past 10 years, 10, 11 years, that's 10%. So consistency, not really. But now I think once I get laser focused, I get more consistent, and that's what I do well. And what I've been doing well recently, and I know I've talked about it before, is when I say I'm going to do something, I need to do it, and I need to stay consistent with it and not quit, because a lot of the times I don't see things through and I always end up quitting. So that's one thing that I'm trying to be better at, is staying consistent and seeing it through. So with my YouTube, I ended up switching the branding towards more Ironman training, and athletic type of stuff, and I might sprinkle in some mindset type of stuff or personal development, whatever it might be. But yeah, that's basically what I've done, and I've been pretty consistent with that. And I don't really have a goal. It's just like if I have a video or a topic that I think would be good, doing that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty, because the first year I did it, I did a video every week, and I feel like I rushed it a lot of the times and it wasn't really good quality. But at the same time, it's just getting reps and putting it out there. So that's what I've been seeing a lot of stuff recently where it's just, I'll find someone and sure, they have 500,000 subscribers right now, but you go to their channel, they've been posting content consistently for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it took them 10 years to get there. It's that consistency that builds up over time.
I think it's the number one factor. If I had to like tell someone that was starting a personal brand or they were going to start content on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is, or even just photos, is the consistency is the biggest factor. You can, the more consistent you are, if you're posting 365 times a year, those 1 to 2 fuck ups that you have that are shitty photos or shitty videos, they get glossed over because you've posted so much. Whereas if I post 3 YouTube videos a year and 2 of them sucked, it's like, okay, this guy sucks at making content, right? So it's much easier to cover up the work, and when you are putting in those reps, when you are being more consistent. So the one thing I tell people, if you're going to start, is commit to being consistent, even as hypocritical as that sounds, because I don't. That's one trait. I wish if I could change one thing, that's what it would be.
At the same time, when you are posting consistently, you're getting practice in every single time. So even though it might suck, you're learning and you're getting better. And the more reps that you put in, the better the better you should get. It's not guaranteed, but if you are trying to improve yourself over time, you should get better. And I think that's one thing that did help me posting consistently every single day for the first year. Is I got a lot of feedback and I tried to implement it, and then I looked at what was working well, what could I improve on, and that just over time has been evolving. And if you go back to see my first video compared to this video, the quality is a lot better, and it's just somewhat night and day difference. But at the same time, like, I'm getting a lot more comfortable on camera as compared to the first time that I was talking, and it's just a lot of practice, and over time you just get better at it. And the short form content's the last thing that I'm doing really good at. I know we did our 30-day challenge a long time ago, and I've still kept that going. And recently I've been out of ideas, and I've just been coming up with last second ideas. And like today, I have no idea what I'm going to post. So we'll see how that goes. And it's just trying to stay consistent and do the best that you can and trying to improve it each time.
Have you ever used Answer the Public?
No.
So answerthepublic.com is, you type in like for you it'd be Iron Man. So like your topic, and then it gives you, it's like a wheel in the middle. It says Iron Man, and it's a wheel around it of all the most common questions and things people are searching related to Iron Man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Neil Patel's.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you ever short on ideas, you could try that. And people are saying, how do I train for an Ironman? And maybe it might spark some ideas for some videos. But the thing is, if you don't have the paid account, I think you can only do like 3 searches a day or something like that. So use them wisely. But yeah, I mean, I've used that before for some client content and some of my own content as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out after and see if that can help me out.
Yeah. There's a free one. I think it's called Answer Socrates. You can look at that too. And you get unlimited searches, but it's not as cool.
Cool.
No one wants to use the off-brand shit, That's why we got these. That's why I got these new Apple headphones, baby. If you guys are watching, because the camera's rolling now, it's actually recording. Apple snob.
That's all it is, Brandon.
All right, Tyler, you got anything else? Let's maybe talk about the bad that we've done. So I kind of mentioned mine a little bit. Consistency is the biggest roller coaster ever. Like we said, we did the 30-day challenge. I've maybe posted once or twice since then, if that. I don't even know if I posted at all.
Did you finish the 30?
No, didn't finish 30 either. So yeah, I mean, the consistency has been the biggest thing. I need to figure out some way, and maybe we'll talk about that, what we should do moving forward. Figure out a way that maybe it's every single morning. That's the first thing I'm doing, because that's what I was doing at the beginning of the 30-day challenge. Is I'd wake up and I'd do it right away in the morning, and then it's something you can't forget about. But like you said, once you don't do it one time, it becomes acceptable, and then you're fucked from there. The only other thing about being bad. I always see other people's, and it's not good to compare yourself to other people's accounts, but I see other stuff and there, it just looks more cohesive. When people go there, you know what you're getting, right? Whereas mine, it's kind of,
you're going to go a different route with that.
No. I mean, you can tell me the route you thought I was going, but it feels more cohesive when I go and I'm like, oh, I know what I'm getting. If I follow this person, I know what I'm getting. Whereas mine, I look at it and I don't know if it's just because it's mine and it's like you're looking at it all the time, but I'm like, what are people, what should they expect?
That's actually one of my bad things that I've done with my personal branding, where I'm not very cohesive. And that's one thing that we're going to chat about later, is the inconsistency of the content that I do post, because like I have my Ironmans and then I have my day ones. So it's like if they follow for my day ones and they see my Ironmans, it's like, okay, what's this guy doing? And if they follow for my Ironmans and they see my day ones, it's like, okay, what's this guy doing? It's not very consistent and cohesive. So that was a really good point that you just brought up. And the way that I thought you were going to go about it when you are comparing to other people, where you see it and it's like, my stuff's way better than his is shit. He's getting views, he's getting likes, and I'm not. It feels really demotivated. That's what I thought you were going to say, because that's the same thing that happened to me on TikTok when I was consistently posting way back in COVID era. And it was in the editing niche, and there was this new guy that came on, and people just loved this guy for whatever reason. And it was just like the dumbest, like he was in editing as well, and people just like were mind blown with the stuff that he was doing. And it was like so basic and so easy, but he just blew up, and I got so pissed about that. So that's the road I thought you were going to go. Yeah.
And it's hard to play that comparison game, but if you look at it as more of what are they doing that I could do? How can I do what they're doing? You know, you have to look at it that way rather than, oh, this isn't fair, you know? So you need to switch your mindset there. But I get it can be frustrating. You know, I see other people in the video world and I'm like, well, their videos suck.
Yeah.
Why are they, blowing up? But.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And same thing with me. I quit. Quitting's a huge thing. Like there's one quote, you can't fail if you don't quit. And I know a lot of the times I've quit. Like I said, my first year after YouTube, I quit for a year. And right now I'm posting. Who knows what I'll be doing in a year or two. Hopefully I'll still be consistently posting and I haven't quit. Maybe if you are watching this in 5 years, you'll be able to see if I am still posting and I have quit or not. So that's one thing that I definitely have struggled with in the past, is just quitting. Like, especially growing up, that was one thing that I did a lot of. Like, I started this and I quit it a couple months later. I started this, I quit a couple months later. I started this, quit again. So it's just, that's one thing that I've really struggled with. So
yeah, and your personal brand takes a long time. It's not like you can post content for a month and be like, okay, this is me now. People should know what I am. Like, you have to consistently do it for a long period of time for then people to start buying into what you're actually doing. I think that's the biggest thing. Again, it goes back to that consistency.
Yeah. Shifting your mindset to a long-term thing. I guess that's kind of in the next topic. I don't know. Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Not really. Do you want to just move into what we think we should be doing moving forward? We'll kind of talk about.
Yeah.
This is what we do in our masterminds, guys.
That's actually what I was just going to touch on right there, is just shifting your mindset to be more long-term focused. I'm going to do this for 5-10 years. I know you always say this. If I start this, am I willing to stick with it for 5 years and be able to see the output then? And I think that's one thing that I need to start thinking more of. And I know when I first started doing the day one videos, I said I was just going to do this forever. And I'm getting to the point where I'm not really seeing the ROI on it. And it's like, okay, is this taking away my time from other areas that it could be higher leverage?
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that I'm documenting a little bit of the journey of everything that I'm doing. But at the same time, I just don't think that it's worth it. And like, there's other areas that I should be focusing more of my time on. So it's, where should I be focusing my time and effort on? And that's one thing that, I mean, when I first started, I had that mindset, but at the same time, I guess I wasn't busy enough to be able to say or do or think, whatever the thing is, to be able to think that far ahead, to be like, okay, does this make sense doing it forever?
Yeah. And I think the day ones, I like that you're doing them. It's super awesome. You're consistent, but it's hard for people, and maybe this is just me, but it's hard for people to follow that, because I don't know how educational it is. It's almost motivational, where it's a piece that I see when I'm scrolling and I see it and I'm like, awesome, let's go. but it doesn't make me be like, let's follow this guy so I can get this every single day. You know what I mean? Whereas the Ironman stuff, it's like, oh, I want to follow this so I get new information on how to train or what to eat every single day. Whereas the day ones is just something that hits you in the face in the middle of the day when you're scrolling. That's like, oh, I got to put my phone down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is it they say? Mental masturbation.
Yeah, I like that. One, I was listening to Hormozy's podcast here on the way back to mine out the other day, and he says if you're not going to do something for a decade, don't do it for a day. And that's one thing you always got to think about. Whether it's on the macro, it's like starting a business. If I start a business, if I don't want to try this for a decade, I'm not going to start it at all. And you can take that down to the minuscule, day one content, for example, for Tyler. If you're not going to do it for a decade, don't do it for a day. Now, there's times, obviously, when you do it for a year or you do it for 7 months and you're like, man, I really tried. I thought I could do this for a decade, but I'm going to have to stop now. That's okay. But at least go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to do this for a decade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was another case where I thought you were going to go a different route with what Hormozy says, but Hormozy says a lot of the times, what is it? Man, I just had it. I had it and then I lost it and then I had it again and now I lost it again. Oh man.
It's like on a string in front of your face.
Yeah. Maybe I'll think of it again.
Carrot on the stick.
I got it. It's back again. It's it goes along the lines of like the mental masturbation, but it's he associates it more with reading a book. And it's like, if you learn something new and you don't change your behavior, you didn't really learn something new. Yeah. So it's like the same thing like with that mental masturbation. If like you say you watch like a day one video and it motivates you to go and do something, but if you don't actually do it, it doesn't really do anything to affect your life. So it's like, if like someone were to watch that video, they close the app and then they go and put in the action and go to work. If that actually happens, then it's a little bit different.
Yeah. But if you're just closing up and then you get up and you go have a sandwich and then you're like, oh, what was I doing? And you forget and then you go back to TikTok.
Or if you just continue going.
Yeah.
Trying to find more mental masturbation.
You're like, man, that'd be good if I did that. And you keep scrolling to the next video.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. God, that guy's smart. All right. What's next? Yeah. And I think, we talked about this moving forward. I think first thing in the morning would be good. I also had the idea when you were talking earlier for YouTube stuff, because I'd like to get back into YouTube, but it's hard for me to schedule time, or I think I just need to start treating it as a client. YouTube's a client. And the block off December 2nd, that's shooting for YouTube, right? And then I think it would be good if I hire somebody to come shoot this stuff. Because there's sometimes when I want to do videos, like we're kind of walking around.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah. And I just say, I'm paying this guy. Let's say it's, $300 today. I'm going to do it because I'm giving somebody money. So that's a good way to make sure you do things where I think
maybe pay your business.
How would you do that?
Can you do that? Can you do that as an employee? You pay BCM
to
make your video for you.
I got to send a text to my accountant here.
That's an interesting thought. I feel like you can.
I don't think so, because I feel like me paying the business it would count as what do you call it when owners put money into a business? Investment type thing. Yeah.
Capital investment.
Yeah. Something like that. So I think anytime I give money to it, but because I can't send an invoice.
Well,
then create a media,
Why not? You're sending it to Easton.
I don't know. Because I don't know. I'll look into it. I'm not saying I'm not arguing with you, but I just feel like they got a cap on that somehow.
I actually thought about doing that too with my Ironman, and I asked the one homie that I know here through wedding videography, if he would be willing to come out to Lake Placid and do like a documentary style for me of like the Ironman day prep and all that stuff, and just so like I have it, because I could do it myself. It's not going to be as good though.
Where's Lake
Placid?
Placid?
Hired someone. New York.
Maybe I'll do it. When is it?
End of July.
Oh, in the summer. I can maybe do that.
Yeah.
You want me to? You want to do a little documentary on it?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, depending on how consistent I do with YouTube and how well it does, I might do it. And I was just like, I just want to put it out there. It was funny. The first text I sent him, I'm like, what are you doing on July 24th?
I'd maybe
He's
be.
like,
I mean, if he's not interested, I would maybe be interested if you text me. I mean, it's pretty far out to plan that, but I'd be willing to if I could use it like if we did like a 20 to 30 minute portfolio piece on it, I'd do that.
yeah, yeah, I'd pay you too, because like that was another thing. Like he's like, he thought I wasn't gonna pay him. He's like, I can't just do that. And I'm like, I would pay you, obviously. So yeah, I think if like I would like to have it where you either come up like the day or two before, and then like we film like prep getting ready, and then we'll drive there together.
Yeah, I would do that because then we could do like an interview, of you getting stuff ready, do interviews here and there, stuff in the car. Yeah, I'd almost do it if you just freaking paid for my hotel. And
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'll pay for lodging and then food and whatever, and I'll probably also pay for like the video as well. And then it acts as like a portfolio piece. And then like if I am doing really well at the same time, say like I grow to 10 to 50K follow or subs on YouTube, and then you get all that exposure. So
dope. Yeah,
I'm paying you plus exposure.
I'll do it for lodging and food. You don't even have to pay me for the video. There you go. What's his offer? Let's see Paul Allen's
He goes
card.
to me after that. He goes to me after that. Once I said I'd pay you.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I've never been to New York, so or Toronto for that matter. Yeah, let's have a conversation about that when it gets closer. All right, Tyler. Anything else you want to talk about? We're at about the hour mark here. Before we get into this week's business idea.
Also thinking about trying different styles, like I was talking about in the update, is just trying like Sam Solik's YouTube type of videos, just trying other stuff. Like that's the main thing that I started doing with my Ironman training videos, is just less editing, just make it as simple as possible and just put it out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I've been trying recently, is just try and put it out there and don't put anything in front of it to have that excuse on why I can't do it. So just try and make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think especially in the niche you're in, you have a little bit more leeway with that, where people are there for the information and seeing stuff. They're not really there for the flashy graphics anyways and the crazy editing.
So at the same time, Alex talks about this a lot, and the data that he gets from his videos is people do stay longer. The videos get shared more, the more flashy and whatever it is. So because he says he would much rather just sit in front of his camera on a webcam or whatever, or in front of a whiteboard, but the data suggests that the other videos do better.
Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously the more production you put into it, it's obviously going to be better, but I think you have a little bit more wiggle room, you know?
Maybe. We'll see.
But
we'll continue doing it and testing.
You keep us updated. Tyler, this week's business idea. Give it to us.
So I don't know if this exists or not. I don't think I've really ever seen it before, but it's something that stemmed out from me training for my Ironman, and it's creating a pool that's completely see-through, and you would be able to go underneath of it. So if you have like a coach or a trainer, they can like go on the side or go underneath of it and watch your form and just help correct and be able to see it from all different angles, as opposed to just above and through the water. So like if you're swimming, it's like I can go right underneath and watch you. I thought that would be pretty cool if just so you had like a massive pool that was completely see-through. I don't know if that's like you go to SeaWorld and you got like that tube thing that you walk through, and kind of like that. So I'll
be the devil's advocate. What is the benefit of that compared to a camera under there? I'm sure they got underwater cameras or something like that.
It's instant feedback. Like you want to watch it through a camera. Like I feel like that's higher production, to be honest. Because then you have to put cameras in there. You have to have them be able to follow you, and then like batteries, changing it, braking. Moving. Yeah.
I was thinking you're in one of those lap pools where you just swim. My uncle has one of those in his basement. You just swim and the water pushes towards you.
Yeah, and the water. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it could be that too.
It'd be cool.
That's just all see-through.
It'd be cool if so you had it like suspended, and then under it was like a gym. So then you could work out there, you could swim there.
Oh, a suspended pool?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know how I'd do that, but it'd be pretty wild.
That'd be wild. Very wild.
Would be a cool looking thing.
Maybe it's just got like a couple poles like holding it up, so it's not suspended, but it's like propped up.
It's just sagging. Yeah. That'd be cool though. I mean, because I think that would help the trainer or whoever's helping you be able to see it a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How
as
deep could
opposed
the
to just,
water
like,
be,
looking.
though? It'd have to be like 4 feet deep. Otherwise, you're looking through a lot of water.
Yeah. That's how a lot of pools typically are. Like they got the shallow end and then it goes deep. And
Yeah.
I think it goes to like 8 feet or maybe 10. I don't know, probably 10 or 12. But yeah, it like a lot of my gym's pools, I think the one's probably only about 3 to 4 feet. The other one's about 4 to 5 feet. So those aren't too deep at all. They don't have a deep end either.
I like it. It's almost like architecture. You could, even if it wasn't like training, swimming related, just architecture wise, if you had a suspended pool.
That'd be pretty insane. It like sways with it too.
Oh,
it's like
God. Top of a building.
That'd be wild.
A little sketchy. Yeah, I got no more feedback for that one. Cool concept. Anything else, Tyler?
No, that's everything.
Cool. All right. That's episode 63 of The Midnight Entrepreneur. If you have any questions you'd like us to cover or answer, email us at themidnightentrepreneur@gmail.com. If you found value in this content or found this entertaining, share this with a friend or post it on your story. If you really enjoyed the show, we'd love a rating and a review wherever you're listening. Talk to you guys next week for another episode of The Midnight Entrepreneur.
I forgot I was doing the quote. I have one here.
Give us a Tyler
brand is
quote.
what people Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Jeff Bezos.